Deceived by the executives, my manager, Emily, left the company without me.
What's going on with you two?
The smirking Mike, the director who framed Emily, seemed pleased. Seeing his grin brought back the rage I felt when he said it was good that Emily resigned. How can you trivialize someone's life like that? Emily has dedicated over 15 years to this company. Lost and without a goal in life, Emily was the one who saved me. I could never forgive the person who betrayed her.
Hold on. What are you talking about?
My anger rose as he pretended to be clueless, but then I learned a shocking truth from Emily. A year later, Emily and I were heading to confront someone. Thanks for trying to set me up a year ago. Because of that, we're now the CEO and the vice president of a company making $200 million a year. He ran out of the room as if fleeing. My name is Alex Brown. I've been working at a company that manufactures food packaging containers for almost a year now. I had been helping out with the family business for over 10 years after graduating high school, but it turned out that the employees preferred me over my brother, who was supposed to become the president. My brother had a talent for management, but was a strict person. Unlike me, who would flexibly handle any trouble, he would seek to thoroughly investigate causes. This led to him being unpopular among the younger employees and part-timers. Eventually, factions formed within the company, one supporting me for president and another supporting my brother. To avoid causing a split, I resigned. I had thought I would help out with a family business for life, so suddenly losing that goal left me at a loss. The company that hired me then was a godsend. Especially my manager, Emily Johnson. She gave me a new purpose.
Hey, aren't you Alex?
The reason Emily and I got close was because of a chance encounter at a local bar. After moving to the city to get away from my family, including my brother, I started bar hopping daily to relieve the stress of unfamiliar life. In my search for new places, I ended up at Emily's favorite bar. Emily, what are you doing here?
That's my line. Do you live around here?
Yes. Do you live in this area too, Emily?
Yes, I've lived in the same place since college. I can't tell you exactly how long, though. It would give away my age.
Emily was quite drunk and eventually revealed she was 3 years older than me, at 38. From then on, I met her at that bar multiple times. I just wanted her to hear me out, so I took the initiative and went to meet her. It wasn't romantic feelings, but rather her being a bright and good listener that made me, as her subordinate, rely on her. I could sleep comfortably on the nights she listened to me. This motivated me to work hard in order to repay her kindness, making my job enjoyable. Though we were a man and a woman, I had decided to stop going to the bar if she ever seemed uncomfortable, but far from being bothered, she started confiding in me about her personal issues.
I feel bad saying this to you, Alex, since you're new, but there's someone persistently bothering me. What should I do?
She talked about someone who kept confessing to her and wouldn't give up despite her rejections, continuing to approach her. She even mentioned that this person seemed to know where she went on her days off, which made me feel it wasn't safe for her to walk alone at night. So, I started walking Emily home after work, and our relationship as manager and subordinate deepened. I thought this would go on forever, but then suddenly, Emily disappeared. When I arrived at work, everyone was buzzing, and I found out she had resigned. Everyone was clueless, but since we were close, they thought I knew why she left and kept asking, why did she quit? When I said I didn't know, they looked at me with pity.
Emily must be relieved. Good for her.
Her absence was painful. She had been a mental support, and I couldn't focus on work that day. So, when Mike, the director, said that, I couldn't help but snap. Good. How can you say that?
Why are you mad? You must feel the same.
What? No way, I'd think it's good she's gone. I looked ready to lash out at Mike, so my colleagues dragged me to the break room. The coffee they bought me tasted like nothing. Hoping to see Emily, I kept going to that bar, but despite my frequent encounters before, she never showed up again. Maybe I had become like the man Emily mentioned, a nuisance to her. If so, continuing to work there felt wrong to her. A month after Emily quit, I resigned.
I'm disappointed in you.
Mike said something else, but it just went in one ear and out the other. I don't care anymore. Post-resignation, I spent my days listlessly, unable to muster the energy to job hunt. As I was pondering what to do next, I headed out to the grocery store. Emily. There she was, pushing a cart.
Why are you here during a weekday?
Seeing Emily after a month, she looked worn out. I quit my job. I told her, and she looked disheartened.
Then, there was no point in me quitting for your sake.
For me. As I puzzled, she asked if I had time. Being unemployed, I found myself with too much time on my hands, so I followed Emily to a nearby cafe.
You didn't have to take responsibility. The executives said if I took the blame, you could keep working there.
Emily seemed a bit upset, and I was even more confused. Responsibility? What's for? What are you talking about? Was there something I needed to take responsibility for?
Didn't you hear about the loss of several $1,000s at the East Coast factory?
Now Emily looked as puzzled as me. Several $1,000s lost. What caused it?
The purchase order you created was wrong. When they tried to pack the boxed mac and cheese, the size was too small for the listed volume.
I was stunned by the mistake more than the loss. How could such a basic error happen?
I was called by the executives, so it must be true.
But I didn't hear anything about it. There was no talk in the office, either. Boxed mac and cheese, that reminded me. I didn't create that purchase order.
Not you. But you were in charge of that project at the company.
I was in charge, but the order was complex due to the material and shape needed for microwaving. It was too complicated for someone in their first year, so Director Mike was supposed to do it. I just watched and learned.
But I heard from the president that you created it.
The checker's name might be mine, but the creator should be Mike. Emily and I had the same thought.
Could it be Mike tried to pin the mistake on you?
Mike is a relative of the CEO. And since the CEO's son had no interest in taking over, Mike was seen as the next in line for the position. Thinking about it, it was odd that Mike, being a director, faced no repercussions while Emily alone was held accountable.
I did think it was strange. After hearing about the loss, the CEO asked me if I understood what to do. A resignation letter was already prepared, so I just signed and submitted it on the spot.
A resignation letter was already prepared. That's extremely odd.
At that time, I was desperate to save you. They said since you were only in your second year, they didn't plan to hold you accountable. So I thought resigning was the only option.
Hearing it was for me made me feel unexpectedly happy. That's why all of us loved Emily.
Oh, the CEO said at that time to let Mike explain everything about the loss to you, so I shouldn't say anything. Was it because the lie would be exposed if I told you?
It seems so. Let's go see Mike. Despite often being overshadowed by Emily, Mike was competent at his job. Especially in times of crisis, his judgment stood out, much like my brother, and it made sense he was considered for the CEO position. After Emily left, feeling betrayed by Mike, whom I respected next to Emily, was painful. We headed to the company and asked the reception to call Mike. We were prepared to wait outside if denied, but Mike came out to meet us right away.
What brings you two here together?
He had a smile on his face. Seeing that expression brought back the anger I felt when Mike said it was good Emily had resigned. What do you think people's lives are for? Emily has dedicated over 15 years to this company.
Why are you angry?
Of course I'm angry. Just because you're the next CEO doesn't mean you can pin your mistake on Emily.
Wait a minute. Pinning my mistake on Emily. What are you talking about?
Mike seemed intent on playing dumb, perhaps due to the people around. But we had a plan. When we were working on the order, a video for PR was being shot. Of course, the computer screen wasn't in the frame, but when we watched the finished video, we appeared in it. If the timing of the video matches the contract's creation time, it'll show that you were the one operating the computer, Mike. I thought this would corner Mike, but he didn't seem fazed.
Really? What are we talking about here? I thought you called me for a marriage or fruit-flavored cereal update.
Fruit-flavored cereal, don't joke around. We're having a serious conversation here. Just as I was about to continue, Emily stopped me in a panic.
Sorry, can we use a meeting room? I'd rather not have this conversation overheard.
Emily was pale. Sensing something was off, Mike suggested we leave the company.
I was actually about to greet a client soon. I'll make it as if I'm heading straight home after that.
We waited for Mike in front of the company and then entered a cafe with private booths to avoid being overheard.
What happened? I was told Emily resigned because she had something she wanted to pursue urgently.
What? Emily resigned because of the loss incurred due to the mistake on the order form we created. Remember, the one for the boxed mac and cheese.
Why would Emily? The responsibility should be mine for creating the order. I haven't even heard about this loss.
I had thought Mike was framing Emily, but what's going on? It seemed even Mike was deceived.
I was told by the CEO that as his superior, I should take responsibility for the significant loss caused by the order mistake.
After Emily explained the lead-up to her resignation, Mike pondered.
The CEO covered it up to avoid affecting my promotion. That way, he could claim Emily, the direct superior, took responsibility, regardless of any future uproar.
It seemed Mike was right. Then, Emily was an absolute victim. It's too pitiful she hadn't done anything wrong.
But how could such a mistake happen? We were just supposed to make it according to the prototype.
Hearing that, Mike and I exchanged looks. Exactly. When we made the prototype with the same order form, there were no issues. It doesn't make sense. The shock of Emily leaving without saying anything and being betrayed by Mike, whom I respected, had clouded my judgment over such a simple matter. What's going on?
When I went to check the prototype, I forgot a pen my wife gave me at the factory and went back a few days later to retrieve it. That's when I unexpectedly ran into Mitchell.
Mitchell is the head of HR. It's unusual for the head of HR himself to visit a subcontractor's factory. It also raised questions that he was there right after the prototype was finished.
I think I figured out what happened.
Emily sighed deeply.
Alex, remember I told you someone was following me around? That was Mitchell.
Both Mike and I couldn't hide our surprise. When I asked if it was someone from the company, you said no.
If I had said yes, you would have asked who, right? I thought it would be better not to say because you might confront him directly if you knew.
Mike, for his part, hadn't even known Emily was being harassed.
You should have talked to me about it. I could have helped.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to bother you with something like this, Mike.
So, Mitchell tried to frame you out of spite for being rejected.
I felt it was a bit different. Maybe he aimed to frame me, perhaps he misunderstood my closeness with Emily as us dating.
Wait, you aren't dating.
No, we're just boss and subordinate. If Mike can misunderstand, so could Mitchell. He might have investigated the projects I was in charge of and manipulated things to cause a mistake. But there was a miscalculation. The order form was created by Mike, and the CEO tried to cover it up. This situation went in a direction Mitchell hadn't anticipated, resulting in Emily taking the blame. That's about it.
It's okay since it was my fault. I'm just glad Alex wasn't involved.
Emily genuinely seemed to think it was for the best, but it frustrated me. How can that be okay? Emily, you did nothing wrong.
Alex is right. Man, I honestly thought you were here to announce you got married or that the fruit-flavored cereal was complete. I'm embarrassed I didn't realize something this serious was going on behind the scenes.
Mike mentioned fruit-flavored cereal again. Was it some kind of code word? Seeing my puzzled look, Emily explained.
I enjoy collecting fruit-flavored cereals. I've always dreamed of selling my own brands someday.
Whenever something at work got you down, you'd say you were going to make a fortune with your fruit-flavored cereals and quit this job, huh?
My apologies. But Mike, you're terrible, you know? Our company bans side jobs, so when I drunkenly told you my plan, you soberly responded it was impossible. Couldn't you have just played along?
Hearing their conversation, I had an idea. Why don't we actually become millionaires? Emily looked shocked at my plan.
Even if we go through with this plan, I'd feel terrible dragging Alex into this. If anything, I should do it alone.
That's not going to happen. Emily, you saved me when I had lost my purpose in life. I'll follow you forever. Thus, Emily and I began our plan for revenge against Mitchell. A year later, Emily and I approached Mitchell, who was still comfortably seated as the head of HR. Thinking Emily had come to see him, Mitchell entered the meeting room with a relaxed face, only to freeze upon seeing me and Mike.
Why are you two here?
These two came to thank you for trying to frame me a year ago.
Mike's just chilling with his legs crossed, looking all relaxed and enjoying himself. Thanks to you, we're now the CEO and the vice president of a company with an annual revenue of $200 million. A year ago, we established a company, appointing Emily as CEO and me as the vice president to make her dream come true. She had been saving ideas for such an opportunity, and we chose the most feasible ones to start manufacturing. Although our fruit-flavored cereal was priced nearly at $10 a bag, the company we contracted for manufacturing was a well-known fruit processor, so people thought, if that company made it, it must be delicious, and they were quick to try it. Once they tasted it, we had them. Emily's idea was perfect, and the taste was unquestionable. Our product became a sensation on social media so quickly that we had to pause sales because production couldn't keep up. When I told Emily we had to temporarily stop selling, she was stunned.
Too popular that we can't manufacture fast enough to keep selling?
Yes, that's the Emily I know.
I just did what you told me to. Who are you really?
I decided it was time to reveal a long-kept secret to Emily. The company we're contracting for manufacturing is actually my family's business. My family owns a well-known fruit processing company, primarily making dried fruits and fruit-flavored cereals. We could have started from scratch, but that would have been time-consuming and costly. I was confident my family, led by my brother, could produce exactly what we envisioned. It was the right decision to leave it to them. I heard about you being the talk of the company, Mitchell. You've been looking ragged for about a year now, only eating a single banana for lunch, apparently struggling with money. I can lend you some money if you like. I had a hunch why Mitchell was strapped for cash. To create a situation of a manufacturing mistake, you must have greased someone's palms at the factory to get him to cooperate. Likely, that person has been blackmailing you for more money, threatening to reveal the truth. Am I wrong?
Shut up. If you're just here to brag, then leave.
Not denying it means my guess was accurate.
You're outsiders now. I'll call the police.
Calling the police would only complicate things for him. I had one more important thing to tell Mitchell. You seem to have lost all judgment. Also, we've tied the knot. The wedding is in 6 months, so you're welcome to come if you'd like. I lifted Emily's left hand to show Mitchell. There, shining alongside mine, was her ring.
Divorce her now. The fruit-flavored cereal you're selling will soon be forgotten. You'll regret marrying him. I can marry you instead, offering you a secure future as the head of HR, right?
Thinking Emily had been harassed by this man made me furious. He just couldn't get through to her. She must have been scared out of her wits.
The future is not secure for you at all. The CEO is preparing for me to take over next year. Though we haven't found evidence yet, once I become the CEO, I'll definitely find proof of your deeds. Just you wait.
Unable to stand Mike's pressure, Mitchell fled the meeting room trembling. The following year, Mike became the CEO. As promised, he found evidence of Mitchell and the factory manager conspiring to cause financial damage. Mike wanted to go public with it, but fearing the media frenzy would burden the employees and affect our company, he decided against it. Both resigned, and the company considered the matter resolved. However, the story didn't end there. The current factory manager, the former deputy, reached out half-jokingly and got his hands on some interesting information. Having lost his savings and job, Mitchell started following the former factory manager around, trying to get his money back. With no money to move away, the former manager couldn't escape, living in fear. And Mitchell, after chasing the former manager around like a zombie, began to look like one, failing even at job interviews for part-time work.
At least they're both single, so they won't be lonely, right?
Hearing this, Emily opened the most expensive wine from our cellar to celebrate. 6 months later, our wedding was held. The reception was lively, with young employees from our company and people from my family's business throwing loving jeers our way. Everyone was laughing. It was such a joyful reception. Except for one person, my brother.
I am sorry that my actions caused you to leave home.
My brother, timing his approach for when people had cleared out from the head table, uttered those words. Despite everything, we had always been close brothers. He must have been concerned about me. Leaving home allowed me to marry Emily and meet Mike, someone I deeply respect. I have no regrets.
Gotcha.
Finally, my brother showed a slight smile, which Emily noticed.
You know, your brother reminds me of Mike. That's why Alex adores him so much.
At Emily's words, both our faces turned red. It looks like we're finally on our way back to being just regular brothers.